Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get together live here on Facebook, where we unpack headlines, comments, questions, ideas, suggestions, all kinds of information that helps us have a more prosperous, a happier, a peaceful, a relaxing, and enjoyable life here in Puerto Vallarta as an English speaking community. If you're new to these broadcasts, my name is Paco, and I love to ask questions. And I just asked a question, and I put it on the screen. The question is, do you own or run a business here in Puerto Vallarta? The reason I am asking will become apparent in a little while. But in the meantime, it is a pleasure to welcome you to these broadcasts that we've been doing since March 31st this year, pretty much nonstop. One day I was just indisposed and I didn't do it. And then I've gone out of town a couple of times, and I've made sure that you had some interesting, juicy content to enjoy yourselves with. And so we've been here. Oh my goodness. Jill cuts to the chase. Have there been changes to the new rules already since Sunday? We'll get to that. And a lot of what we're going to talk about today, aside from our news and headlines, is just the plethora of interesting reactions that I've witnessed, that Luna has witnessed. Right, Luna? Did you witness all kinds of crazy people out there wondering what's going on with the new changes? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a new lord in Mexico that doesn't even have a name yet. I think I would call him Lord Covidiot, but we'll get to that in a second. We have a walk. Today is Walking Wednesday. So surprise, I'm going to show you Mayto. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I enjoyed in my brief but very rejuvenating getaway. And we are going to, as always, answer all the questions that we have as lovingly and patiently and carefully and accurately as we can. So if you have important questions or comments, please add a Q to the beginning of your question. That way, we'll make sure that we address it during the broadcast, and if not, shortly thereafter. So, okay, so let me get started with, what do I want to get started with? Oh, my hellos, of course. Let's see who's here. Is Luna displeased? Well, yes, Luna is displeased. She is a little bit unhappy because she has been going on and on and on with this business, and she's just like, no, stop it. Just don't go there again. You cannot get a pardon. No, you got to talk to that other guy. I don't give you pardons today. Anyhow, no, I'm just kidding. Luna is fine. She's keeping me company as always and enjoying the action and seeing what's going on. Right? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Anyhow, let's see who's in the house before we go ahead and start talking about important news. Jill's in the house from Los Muertos Beach. Hello. Let's see who else is here. Everybody's here, and it's always great to see you. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all over town, bar owners grew desperate, and none could be found. There you go. Let's see. I still haven't shopped for Christmas yet, right after the show. Mario, no more Butterfingers, please. But if you want to have me add some things to your shopping list, I'll be happy to send you a message. Just kidding. Merry Christmas Eve. Is it that time of the year yet? Today is Wednesday, December 23rd. I love it. For those people that want to be reminded what day of the week it is. Let's see. Uh, my dear loving sister who is sequestered in Mexico City, where people are in the red button zone. Querida hermanita, mwah, I love you. We already looked at Jill's question. Have there been changes to the new rules already since Sunday? The answer to your question, Jill, is there haven't been any changes because the rule is quite simple. The bars are closed. Bars and nightclubs are closed between December 25th and January 10th. That's it. That's simple. But just reading through Facebook yesterday, oh my goodness, people just turned such a simple guideline into this craziness. And but I can appreciate we're all confused, we're all stressed, and we want to know what the hell's going on. But it is that simple. You know, if you think you're a bar but you serve food, or you think you're a nightclub but you serve drinks, it boils down to what it says on the paper that you presented to the government. If the government thinks you're a bar, then you cannot open. If the government thinks you're a restaurant, you can operate normally. If you are a nightclub, there's no business to talk about because nightclubs have their own guidelines, which have nothing to do with bars. But I don't know why things get so complicated. Let's see what else we have. Bam, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Janet, I love that you love the podcast. I love that you love Coffee and Headlines. Thank you very much for that. Luna is more interested. I'm not so sure about that, Stephanie. She comes and goes, just like my attention span, I tell you. Um, oh, Liz says it's her birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to Liz, who's always here watching. Yay! Wonderful. Steve Elfers, you will pardon Luna for money? The only thing we offer is sexual favors here, sexual favors and brownies. So if you will accept sexual favors or brownies, then we can have a conversation. Let's see. Oh my God, I have to thank Tim for what he sent me this morning. And I have to share, as long as I know that you're here, you gave me my first wonderful laugh of the day with this. I mean, how fun is that? I mean, it sounds like the story of my life. You know, I'd love to talk to my intelligence speaker and say things like, should Luna get a pardon today or not? And I haven't decided to do that. Mark Hartman. Oh my God, that's right. Mark is in town. So the world will not come to an end because the most wonderful piano player you could find here, there, or everywhere. And he sings. And I hear he's a giant in the bedroom too. Mark Hartman is back in town. We've talked back and forth about shows, live shows, and what should you go to and what is good and what is not. I am going to tell you this. It's very simple. If Mark Hartman is involved, then you have to go see it. It's that simple. So it's good to see that you're back, Mark. I look forward to connecting with you sometime in the near future to see what you've been up to. Maybe we can have a little chat conversation live, or maybe we can just hang out and go looking at chicks or whatever floats your boat. So welcome back to Puerto Vallarta. Let's see. La da di da 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 da. Ma ma ma. Ha! Everybody wants to pardon you, Luna. I think you have fans here. I love it. Um, I'm glad, Christopher, that you got the clarification that you needed. Um, Good for you, because I saw you were posting yesterday on Facebook quite a bit, or I ran across a couple of your posts. I understand how the guidelines can be a little bit confusing, but bottom line, it's just a matter of asking the proper people in the proper channels. Um, my sister, I love her. I'm not kidnapped. I just follow the rules because I want to live. There you go. You know, it's that simple. If you want to stay alive and take care of yourself, just follow the guidelines. Why does Luna need a pardon? Well, Christy, she has this thing. Actually, she's like, I love you so much. I'm just going to chew on all your USB cables. and every now and then I scold her, and I fear that she has developed this behavior in which she thinks that when she chews on my cables, I am going to pet her. So I'm trying to have important discussions with her so that this doesn't happen anymore. Anyhow, I think we are all caught up with saying hellos and stuff like that. Let us dive into the news. No, actually, let me, before we dive into the news, I want to show you these results. Um, Yesterday, I spent a lot of time pondering about what we do here at Coffee and Headlines, and actually, I was not so sure of what percentage of people that watch the broadcast are folks that are running a business here in town, and what percentage of people are not. And and the way some local business owners were seeking clarity yesterday, or seemed to seek clarity yesterday, made me think that maybe more business owners could understand the benefits of being part of business organizations and chambers and this, that, and the other. There were a bunch of people commenting yesterday. They did not understand what the guidelines were. And I mean, I have to, give it hands down to Michael Buford, who posted on his personal Facebook page a letter written with the logo, an official letter from Canirac, which is the local restaurant association. And the local restaurant association was very clear in explaining what the guidelines were. In this case, if you are in the business of serving food or liquor, the government is your first source for accurate information. And the second source is the local chamber of food, and that would be Canirac. So if you're not a member, you want to become a member. But of course, that only concerns 10% of the people that are watching today. 90% of us do not own a business in Puerto Vallarta. So we are looking at the guidelines from the point of view of the consumer. And the guidelines for the point of view of the consumer are stay home. It's that simple. Somebody posted something along the lines of, well, are there sailboat parties going on? Well, who knows? I don't know. All I know is what I have to do to take care of myself. And I encourage you to think about that. So if you're tempted to go to these bars that may be restaurants or maybe bars, or if you're tempted to go out, on the one hand, I feel for the prosperity of these businesses. Of course, they want to make some living. Of course, they want to be able to pay their employers. But the other side of that is our own health. So it is a personal choice. Stay where you feel safe. And now let's jump to the news. Well, for starters, Vallarta Opinas says sad news. The new emergency button, which is really not called an emergency button, but the new emergency button creates cancellations. This is what the newspaper is calling a sad news. And I know from the economic point of view, it is sad news that people are canceling their time in Puerto Vallarta during the end of the year. But the flip of that is that people are thinking with common sense and hopefully are staying where they feel safe. And that is the bottom line. So if there are cancellations now, let us hope that some people will be inclined to come back later on. And let us hope that in one way or another, we will all recover the economic fluency that we are all so desperate for. We learned that Puerto Vallarta is not among the most transparent municipalities in the state of Jalisco. There is this coalition of citizens for transparency of municipalities, and they revealed their results for municipalities in the state of Jalisco, and they show that as it relates to revealing results of the pandemic, I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that before. The headline is, as far as pandemic results or reports are concerned, there are some municipalities in Puerto Vallarta that are not giving us the full enchilada. And unfortunately, Jalisco is one of those. According to this recent survey, the most transparent municipalities in the state of Jalisco are Tlajomulco, Tonalá, Guadalajara, Zapopan, Jilotlán, and Zapotlán el Grande. What it means is that these municipalities that I mentioned do provide the federal government all the reports that the federal government needs to quantify and qualify the pandemic in our country. We don't know exactly where the municipality of Puerto Vallarta is, but we know it is not among the most transparent. And we also know that the average of transparency with Jalisco municipalities as it relates to sharing information about COVID 19 is 57.4%. Now, does that mean that they are lying or that they're just administratively sloppy? We don't know. We could certainly wish for more clarity and transparency from our own municipality, and we can only hope that that will be the case moving forward. I also want to let you know that the vaccine has arrived in Mexico. This news item is from yesterday, but I also saw another one stating that the vaccine has arrived in Mexico. This is the Pfizer vaccine that Mexico has purchased to be able to distribute among the population. I am going to scroll through this very lengthy article because there are a lot of important points in it that you will might be interested in. So please bear with me as we're doing this. These are news that came from our Foreign Affairs Chancellor, Marcelo Ebrard. He says that we received the first shipment, and next week we're going to receive another shipment, and we are going to receive a total of 1.4 million doses between now and the end of January. We know for a fact that the process of vaccination will be universal, it will be free, and it will be carried on by the Army according to the guidelines provided by Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. We know that the distribution of the vaccines is going to be headquartered in both Mexico City and the state of Coahuila. I'm not entirely sure why the state of Coahuila is going to be able to. I'm not sure why they chose the state of Coahuila, but we know that the whole country is going to receive the vaccine. I understand, William, that all you're interested in is when you can get the vaccine, but of course, this is not about you. It's about everyone. Let's see what else we have. We also know that Lopez Gatels indicated that there will be no restriction with airlines coming in from the United Kingdom, from the UK, given the fact that they're experiencing a new variant of COVID-19. And I have a news item for you, which I'm going to reveal in a second. We know that the World Health Organization says that virus mutations are natural and expected. And I've read elsewhere, and again, I'm going to share an article to that effect, that the vaccine will still work despite the fact that there have been some variants in the virus. Vaccination in Mexico is voluntary. You are not forced to take the vaccine. This has been a very important point for President López Obrador, who does not want to make anybody do anything by force. He's also been very adamant in making sure that politicians don't use the vaccine as a tool to do campaigning, and hopefully that will be the case. What else is good from this? I love it when, for a change, articles are long and juicy and do offer a lot of information. There's more supplemental information, like President López Obrador has canceled all his business in Mexico City because Mexico City is shut down because of the pandemic. And that is what I have for this one. And here's this article. This one is in English in case you want to find out more about what's going on with this variant of the coronavirus. And I'm going to share the link for it in the show notes today so that you can read it at your heart's content. Is it at your heart's content, at your heart's delight? I'm not entirely sure, but you can read it where you want and when you want. Let me take a quick look at your comments before we shift to other topics here. Let's take a quick look. Uh huh. Christy and I have many things in common. I miss you, Christy. I hope you're having fun and being safe wherever you are. Um, I've resisted that, Ed. I know that it is. I know that it is a choice, but I'm not sure that that's the way I want to go. Let's see. But thank you for the suggestion. Um, let's see. Da. Okay, so we're clear so far. Okay, William, I'm sorry, I had to pull on your comment, and I'm hoping that you didn't take offense. Um, Oscar Rito is interrupting me. Why are you interrupting me, Oscar Rito? Oscar Rito is a fabulous chef. So if he's saying to interruption, there must be a good announcement coming. We are going to see what that is about. At your heart's desire. Thank you very much, Ronnie. I always learn something new from you guys, and I really appreciate that. Anyhow, moving right along with the headlines. This is an important public service announcement from yours truly, from comments that I've heard from friends. Um, December is a time in which there are people, crime increases. Crime increases. And I've been reading a lot about robberies and things that happened at, at things that happen at supermarket parking lots and car tires that are popped only for people to be scammed and so forth and so on. So I want to confirm that indeed it's not even the end of the year, and up until the end of November, we already have more violent theft in the state of Jalisco than we did last year, and that is not counting the month of December. So be careful out there. I'm not sharing this so that you will feel paranoid of going out or anything, but just be mindful when you're out and about. There might be people out there who are struggling with the pandemic and who are, um, trying to get into some dough or some things. So just be safe and be careful when you're out there. Going from one place to another, especially if you're in supermarkets or public places. Don't let people get close to you, and so forth and so on. Let me see if I have any other interesting comments before we move on to our leisurely stuff and our weather. Oh my God, today we get to talk about something disgusting that is worse than taco salads and taco soups and taco dips. That remember when we talked about that? All these things that are not tacos but have tacos in the title. Let's see. I see a question from Angelica Vargas. Who is going to be the first ones? I am going to assume that that question has something to do with the vaccine. If that is correct, well, I'm just going to say it. What we know, and this was posted earlier on, and we talked about this maybe last week, is they're starting with healthcare workers, and they're starting with Marine and Army personnel, and after that, it's an age-based criteria, starting with senior citizens, and it goes from, I believe it was people that are 70 and over get vaccinated in the month of January, and moving down along the age range and by months. And I'm sure that this will become available again once the vaccinations actually start. But right now, at the present time, between the rest of this month and January, the government's primary concern is healthcare workers. And I will keep you posted as far as that is concerned. And teachers, yes, thank you very much, Michelle. I also heard that teachers are also going to be part of the initial distribution. Thank you, Stephanie, for clarifying. And we will all find out when the time is for each and every one of us. And somebody had commented yesterday or the day before, can everybody and anybody get it? And as far as I know, you can get the vaccine in Mexico if you are Mexican, or if you if you have a temporary resident card or a permanent resident card. Let us switch over to the weather and some leisurely stuff, and of course our walk of the week. Hang on. Okay, it is 24 degrees Celsius, feels like 25. Fahrenheit is 76 degrees. Humidity is low, only 47%, which is truly, truly wonderful. The weather forecast for today is going to be clear through the day with a high temperature of 30 degrees, low temperature of 16. Brrr. Tomorrow, it's going to be clear through the day, high temperature of 28, low temperature of 17. And Friday, humid through the day, Friday the 25th, that will be Christmas Day. And high temperature is going to be 29, low temperature is going to be 18. 18. How about that? So, anyhow, we were just talking about Luna's gone, so I'm not going to keep her on her little window on the screen. We were talking a few weeks ago, months ago actually, about, well, I went ahead online and I Googled taco recipes, and I found recipes for taco soup, taco salad, taco dip, taco pie, taco casserole. I mean, I didn't find one for taco smoothie, but I'm sure that if I Googled taco smoothie, I would find something to that effect. What is it about folks north of the border and maybe elsewhere wanting to reinvent something as glamorously simple as a flat tortilla with chingaderas on it? It is a mystery to me. Well, now, apparently, there is a California restaurant that has decided to. Oh my God! It's just like the pen pineapple apple pen video that we have. You know, if the song, if we had a song for that, it would be "I have tamal, I have a burger," and what do you get together if you bring them together? A tamal burger, and it exists. Give me a break. There is this restaurant in California that apparently has decided to make burgers out of tamales, and the place is called Original Tommy's. And thing, uh, this thing is called a chili tamale. Okay, so this is something I don't want for Christmas. Thank you. In case you were thinking of sending me one, and and just to make sure that you understand that this is not just a local affliction, I also found this fabulous concoction that is being sold in Japan. This is the Oreo burger. Yes, an Oreo burger. Why? I don't know, but I don't want that on my Christmas list either. Thank you very much. Apparently, McDonald's. Oh, I'm sorry. This is in China, not in Japan. Uh, McDonald's in China is introducing the Oreo. Oh, ouch! It's the Oreo spam burger, not even hamburger. It's the Oreo spam burger. How to turn my stomach easily and quickly early in the morning during coffee and headlines. Just show me a spam burger from McDonald's in China. Somebody here says that it's good, actually. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too much of a conservative. Check it out. We found it, we ate it. It was really good. No joke. McDonald's spam Oreo burger. I don't think so, but I appreciate the fact that you're all commenting about this, which is actually quite funny to watch. Let me see, what have you got to say about this business? You should try pizza in Italy. Nothing like what it's become worldwide. Oh, oh, ouch, Jeffrey. Really? Spaghetti and meatballs taco? Ay, Dios mío. Ay, Dios mío. My sister says, boo, torta de tamal. Yeah, that's something that they do in Mexico City. They put tamales in sandwich bread, and they call it torta de tamal. Um, I love this. Joe says, gag. Sylvie says, gross. Mary makes a face. Liz says, yuck. And Michael says, gross. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is just too funny. Anyhow, oh my God, yeah, a lot of empathy for this very creative recipe sharing. Now, I want to show you three from the New York Times, and then one COVIDiot, and then we get ready with our Walking Wednesday feature. First of all, The New York Times has published this wonderful article about the Vienna Philharmonic and how they have endured during this very challenging year. They do this apropos of the traditional New Year's concert that the Vienna Philharmonic has been has been presenting for years. Sorry. Um, every year since God knows when, on January 1st, the Vienna Philharmonic has a traditional New Year's concert. And of course, this year it's challenging because of social distancing and whatnot. So there's this great article that tells us how it's going to happen, how we're going to be able to watch it from home, and how we can even record our applause and send it to them so that the orchestra can enjoy playing while they're playing in an empty house. So it is really interesting to see how the arts, despite the adversities, the arts find ways to continue to thrive. And that just makes me feel so very happy and hopeful for better times in the future. Now, if you've been paying attention, and I know you have, you've noticed that there have been these series of features from the New York Times that are called 5 Minutes With, in which um, people from the Times get opinions from important people from different areas of life about topics like music topics like violin and sopranos and so forth and so on, and have created these features called, for example, 5 minutes to fall in love with violin music and so forth and so on. Well, now the Times has put all these features together, and you can find out a lot of information about beautiful music that you can also fall in love with by checking out this feature, from 21st century composers to Baroque music to classical music and more. And I hope you'll spend some time enjoying this and nurturing your soul with it. And now, the Lord of the Day comes from this man who doesn't even have a name, but I would call him Lord COVID or Lord COVIDiot. This is a 61-year-old man who reached a hospital in Coahuila, north of Mexico, and he was diagnosed with COVID-19. And I'm sure that that's a bitter pill to swallow. But what this guy did is he got into a hissy fit and unplugged his IV and insulted everyone. And this happened the moment he was told, you have COVID, you're going to be transferred to the COVID unit. So he left the hospital in a huff, just wearing his hospital gown. He left his clothes behind. And there is this photo of him wearing his hospital gown, covering his ass, of course, as he should, and hopping onto a taxi cab to go home. So this is the latest and greatest Lord in Mexico. I call him Lord COVID. And of course, the hospital now has to follow up on his well-being and figure out what happened there. But that's not, I would not have wanted to be that taxi cab driver. Oh, where are you coming from, sir? I'm coming from the hospital. I have just been diagnosed with COVID and I want you to take me home. It's like, no, thank you very much. Okay, and that is what we have for today, with the exception of our walking tour, which is more of a show and tell than a walking tour, although I walked all over the place to do the following supercut of the glorious time I had the pleasure of spending in Mayto just last week. This is about 6 minutes long, and this is just what I saw. Needless to say, I'm putting together a longer feature that will include how to get to Mayto, what to bring, when to go, what to do, what to expect, so forth and so on. And that'll happen later on. But I didn't want to let too much time go by without taking back a look back at some of the footage that I captured while I was there. And I would like to add, just in case you're a little bit geeky, as I tend to be, that all the images that you were going to enjoy now were shot with my iPhone. And this is part of my intention for this vacation. I did not want to bring a lot of gear, but I did want to bring something back to share with the cluster. So here we go. Oh. And that was. Oh, I see La Tortuga Titania. Logan and I were so stoned all the time, and Logan insisted on buying his own inflatable, and he called his turtle Titania. I love it. I don't know if that was inspired by Titanic, the unsinkable Titanic, but this turtle never sank. It was absolutely beautiful. Let me scroll back to see if I can answer any questions about that little short feature that I edited yesterday. I had a good time doing that. Well, okay. How did he pay for the taxi driver with no pants? Oh dear. Uh, Christy is confused. Don't be confused, Christy. It's my old habit to call the place Mayto, but I know better now. Now I know that I have to call it Mayto because that's how they call it down there. But for me, it's stuck in my mind, and I will continue to call it. I'm going to try to call it Mayto moving forward, but I always think Mayito, and I can't help it. Um, we that's part of what we learned when we were there. We asked a couple of people. Um, if anybody has not been to Maito, I see that Inga has been there before. Time to go back. I love it. Uh, Thank you very much for that, Stephanie. Being a musician, I always think very carefully about what I want to convey musically with the features. So it's not a random choice. I must have spent maybe a good hour and a half yesterday looking at my sources of public domain music to use on these kinds of features. And I wanted the music to fit what I was trying to convey this time of year and given these circumstances. So I appreciate your comment very much. Um, Thank you very much for that, Joe. I try to get better the more I practice. I really enjoy it. Let's see. Sheila, another place to add on the list of must visit places. Absolutely. And again, I'm putting together a fuller length feature that will explain everything from what to pack, what to bring, when to go, what to expect, so forth and so on. Or questions like Williams, how do you get there without a car? And things like that. You can take a taxi or you can con your best friend that has a car into bringing you there. Um, so forth and so on. Raymond, one of the reasons why I decided if I'm going to go somewhere away from my home this time of year, and right now, it has to be to a place that has no people. And that was what made this little getaway so precious. The fact that it's such a small town that there's just not that many people around. And the hotel, there were people in the hotel, but it was not full to capacity. And we never felt any kind of hotel type of density of too many people to make it uncomfortable. It was absolutely lovely. The pool is fresh water and it is not heated. So when we actually jumped in the pool, we made sure that we had gone out for a good walk so that once we jumped into the pool, it felt very, very comfortable. I saw that, Tim. I saw that your hammock is there and it's waiting for you. Let's see. Let's see. What else do we have? A one or two Pemex town. I really couldn't tell you, Terry. If I recall correctly, the vehicle that I went in, um, we loaded gas here in town, and we made it down and back on one tank, but it was a large SUV, so a smaller vehicle might have to get gas in El Tuito before heading down into the coast. Um, let's see. Um, you can find that information in the show notes, Eleanor. Let's see. Another comment about the background music. Thank you very much. Oh, the turtles. Oh my God. The whole experience at the camp was absolutely wonderful. And being able to learn about the different types of turtles and which ones are endemic and which ones live here and where do they go and when do they come back. It was just truly, truly extraordinary to be part of that whole experience. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Oh my God, this has to be probably the nicest compliment that you've given me, Michael. And this is what we try to do here at Coffee and Headlines, to try to create connections so that we can imagine ourselves in hopefully a better place than where we are right now. Thank you very much for that. And thank you very much for everybody for hanging out with me today. Um, and it is always Logan says, what can I say? I'm a sucker for a good gift shop. There were some fabulous sunglasses at the gift shop at the hotel, and I resisted spending money on that. How was the road? The road was very, very manageable, although it hasn't been maintained properly, so you need to drive very carefully to avoid the potholes. And I think I'm caught up with you, and it's already 11:16. Wow, and there's still 113 of you hanging out, which is something I very much appreciate. As always, I thank you for being part of the Coffee and Headlines cluster, and thank you for keeping me company and Luna company as we're doing what we're doing every day, and we enjoy it very much. And you can stop that now, Luna. I'm not even going to acknowledge you because I know you're being silly and fishy. There's going to be no pardons for you for chewing those cables. um, I hope you had a good time today. I hope you are taking good care of yourself in this very challenging holiday season. I hope you're staying kind, staying calm, telling people that you love how much you love them, taking good care of yourself and those in your own personal cluster. I hope I will see you again sometime soon, hopefully tomorrow. And between now and then, stay happy, stay kind, and stay in touch. Be mindful, be kind, stay safe. That's not my words, that's Tim Phan's words. Thank you very much. Have a great day.